This is the NuPhy Halo75 V2 keyboard in Mojito colorway, a 75% mechanical keyboard that supports wired, wireless and Bluetooth connectivity. Today we'll have a look at build quality, sound, wireless and Bluetooth connectivity as well as performance. But first, let's see what's inside of the box. And there you'll find the mentioned keyboard. It's already pre-built with key switches and keycap pre-installed. You will also get a set of additional keycaps. The pre-installed ones are for Mac users, while the spare ones can be used if you're running on Windows. There's also the wireless receiver, additional key switches if you'd like to try different ones that you ordered, and combo keycap and switch puller. There's also an included cable to connect and charge your keyboard. Oh, and a set of stickers, can't forget about this one. The wireless receiver has a dedicated compartment in the keyboard that's hidden on the opposite side of the USB-C connector. I really like that NuPhy included a silicone plug to mask the hole if you decide to leave the wireless receiver or when it's plugged into your PC. I think the main highlight of the keyboard is its RGB. You get a semi-transparent bottom case which lets a generous amount of light through and creates a kind of halo effect around the keyboard when it's laying on your desk. It's especially visible on surfaces that reflect light well. There's also the Halo magnetic nameplate at the top right hand corner which, when in place, is also surrounded by a glow of RGB and a subtle yet fun RGB stripe just above the escape key. The legends on the keycaps aren't transparent, so there's no RGB shining through them. The one interesting thing about the keycaps is that when it comes to height, they lay somewhere in between regular cherry keycaps and low profile ones. Of course, any regular cherry keycap will also fit in there. Some of the keys have mini light stripe to help you find your way around when it gets dark in the room. You can control the light using either the built-in menu, which allows you to change the brightness, speed, color and type of the backlight, but the keyboard also works with Signal RGB app, which allows you to change the effect from your desktop. Let's move on to sound, and I have to say I was really surprised by the sound quality when I first opened the box. It sounds amazing. I think I won't be exaggerating when I say that there's no real need to mod this keyboard any further because out of the box it just sounds like heaven. But I'll let you judge for yourself. This has to be one of the best out-of-the-box sounding keyboards that I have ever used. And NuPhy made sure that even the spacebar gets an exceptional treatment. They call it the Ghost Bar, and it uses silicone sound absorbers and polycarbonate connectors, as well as internal chambers which help with the profile of the sound. Here's a comparison between normal spacebar and Ghost Bar. I hope you can hear the difference, as in real life it's really noticeable. I also think that the silicone dampeners below the spacebar are very helpful in making the sound exceptional. The keyboard is gasket mounted with plate mounted stabilizers, POM switch plate and an aluminum top plate. There's also plate foam, sound dampener and a bottom silicone, all that to make the keyboard sound as good as possible. And the keyboard is just the right amount of heavy with minimal flex and feels very sturdy without being too rigid. At the bottom there's a set of 2 feet which help you adjust the angle of the keyboard to give you the best typing experience. Now I need to mention the switches. Those are NuPhy Lemon switches, and by the way there's a funny error on my box which stated the switches I got were Leon switches, and that had me confused for a moment. Either way, those are tactile switches, and while I'm a linear guy myself, those aren't too bad. You still get that tactile feedback when pressing the switch, but it's not too distracting. I was also very surprised by the performance of the keyboard. While it's not as quick as, let's say, Wooting, it definitely isn't slow either. It sits somewhere in between and can actually beat some of the other rapid trigger keyboards that I've tested. And what's even more surprising is that the wireless performance was only around 2-3 milliseconds slower than using a cable, which makes this keyboard a very good choice for anyone who would like to get rid of cables. NuPhy seems to have done a really good job at optimizing the wireless latency. And this takes me to the next point. You can connect the keyboard via Bluetooth to up to 3 devices and can easily switch between them using the built-in shortcuts. When testing, I found that there is no issue when switching between Mac and Windows laptop. If you add the ability to also connect wirelessly to one more device, this means that you can switch between 4 different devices, something that can definitely help you become a productivity monster. And for anyone looking to make a complete set with this keyboard, NuPhy offers additional DLC on their website: keys, desk mats, wrist rests, and so on, which can help you elevate the aesthetic of your desk. Overall, I really enjoyed the NuPhy Halo75 V2. The 75% layout is by far my favorite one. When you pair it with a great looks, absolutely amazing sound profile, great connectivity options, rich RGB features, and a competitive price at just $130, this is something every keyboard enthusiast should take into consideration. And if you're looking for a device that will allow you to work and play games without sacrificing functional performance, this is the way to go.